You wake up with 1,000 thoughts racing through your mind, questions about your future, your goals, your purpose. There's a gnawing feeling deep inside that you were meant for more, yet the path ahead feels foggy. You've read the books, watched the videos, listened to all the success gurus, but still something's missing. The clarity never quite sticks. You're not lazy, you're not incapable. You're just tired of taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. You're done with the hype. You want answers that actually move you forward, not just make you feel good for a few minutes. You want tools that work in real life. When you're overwhelmed, when you've failed, when fear tightens its grip. So many people walk through life wearing a mask of confidence while inside they're screaming for direction. They've been told to think positive, to stay strong, to hustle harder, but no one's really answering the real questions. How do you keep going when you don't see results? How do you stay focused when distractions are everywhere? How do you build a life of meaning when you're constantly battling doubt, fear, or the weight of your past? This is about hype, it's about truth, and sometimes all it takes is the right insight at the right time to crack something open inside you, to shift your mindset from confusion to clarity, from hesitation to action. Real answers exist, the kind that don't just sound good, but that you feel in your gut. And once you hear them, you don't go back. You step forward, different, clearer, and more certain than ever before. Because the path to success isn't about magic. It's about mastering the moments that matter. And right now, this could be one of those moments. Every one of us carries questions that feel too big to answer. Questions about who we are, where we're going, and what it really takes to succeed. From the outside, success often looks like luck, timing, or talent. But on the inside, it's a puzzle of decisions, beliefs, habits, and moments where you either step up or step back. Most people spend their lives chasing the how, the strategies, the hacks, the systems. But before any of that can work, there needs to be a deeper understanding of why we do what we do and what we believe is possible for us. We live in a time where we're more connected than ever, yet more disconnected from ourselves. It's easy to scroll through a highlight reel of someone else's life and feel like we're behind. It's easy to compare, to doubt, to feel overwhelmed by all the things we should be doing. But success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things with clarity and purpose, and that begins by asking better questions. Questions that cut through the noise and lead to real answers, not vague affirmations or fleeting motivation, but actionable truth that actually makes a difference in how you think, feel, and act. When you ask yourself, why haven't I reached my goals? Or why do I keep falling into the same patterns? You're not looking for a quick fix, you're looking for alignment. You're searching for a way to close the gap between who you are and who you know you can be. And the truth is, those answers already live within you, but sometimes you need a clearer lens, a new way to approach the same problems with fresh eyes and deeper insight. This is more than a talk about success. It's an opportunity to reconnect with your own vision, your own inner strength, and your own ability to create change. You don't need more fluff, you need direction. You need grounded wisdom that challenges your thinking and sharpens your focus, the kind of insight that doesn't just pump you up, but wakes something up inside of you. Whether you're just starting out, rebuilding, or refining your next move, the clarity you seek begins by listening deeply to your own questions and to the answers that resonate not just in your head, but in your heart. This is the beginning of something different, something real. Success is often portrayed as a straight line, set a goal, work hard, achieve it. But for most people, the reality is far more complex. They begin with excitement and ambition only to find themselves overwhelmed, distracted, or discouraged. They question their path, doubt their abilities, and wonder why the progress feels so slow, if not impossible. It's not that they don't want it badly enough, it's that the path is filled with uncertainty, emotional resistance, and mental roadblocks that aren't addressed in surface level advice. At the heart of the challenge is a lack of clarity. People don't just want to succeed, they want to feel fulfilled, purposeful, and confident that their efforts are leading somewhere meaningful. But when clarity is missing, confusion takes over. Days become routines, routines become ruts, and before long, the dream starts to fade under the weight of real life. Bills, expectations, fear of failure, and the constant noise of comparison. What started as passion becomes pressure. What was once a vision now feels like a burden. There's also the emotional struggle most won't admit. Deep down, people wonder, am I enough? Can I really do this? What if I try and fail again? These silent questions erode confidence, and when success doesn't come fast enough, they begin to internalize the failure. They think something must be wrong with them. They look around and see others succeeding and assume they're missing some secret. But the truth is, most people are wrestling with the same doubt. Add to that the overload of conflicting information, so many voices, so many methods, so many promises, and it's easy to get stuck in analysis paralysis. People jump from idea to idea, course to course, hoping for that one breakthrough, but often end up more confused than when they started. The real problem isn't a lack of motivation or even effort. It's a lack of alignment. When your beliefs, values, emotions, and actions are out of sync, progress feels like a constant uphill battle. No matter how smart you are or how hard you work, if you're operating from fear, confusion, or unresolved self-doubt, your energy becomes scattered and your results reflect that. This is the crossroads where most people silently give up, not because they're weak, but because no one ever showed them how to face these internal blocks head on. Success, after all, isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. When most people think about achieving success, they focus on external strategies, goal setting, time management, productivity hacks. While those tools matter, they often overlook the most powerful factor, their internal world. Every decision, every action, every moment of hesitation or courage is rooted in what we believe about ourselves and the world around us. It's not enough to know what to do. We need to understand why we're doing it and who we're being while we do it. This journey starts with self-awareness. Most people are operating from unconscious patterns, stories they've picked up from childhood, past failures, or society's expectations. These stories shape how they see opportunity, how they handle failure, and how much they believe they deserve. For example, someone might set a bold financial goal, but carry a deep belief that success leads to loneliness. Without realizing it, they self-sabotage, not because they lack discipline, but because they're protecting themselves from a fear they haven't addressed. Emotions are another key piece. How we feel in any given moment determines the quality of our decisions. Frustration, anxiety, and fear narrow our focus and trigger defensive behaviors. On the other hand, confidence, gratitude, and curiosity expand our thinking and open the door to solutions. Learning to shift emotional states, especially in the heat of stress, is what separates consistent progress from cycles of burnout. Then comes behavior. When your beliefs and emotions are aligned with your goals, action becomes natural. You stop forcing motivation and start building momentum. You take risks not from desperation, but from clarity. You stop reacting to life and start responding to it. Habits form more easily, and discipline becomes less about willpower and more about identity. Along the way, challenges don't disappear, but they stop feeling like threats. They become invitations to grow. Setbacks become lessons. Resistance becomes a signpost pointing to where the real transformation needs to happen. You begin to see success not as a destination, but as a process of becoming more resilient, more focused, more true to who you really are. The truth is, no strategy will work if your inner world is working against you. But once you begin to align your state of mind, your belief system, and your daily behavior, the path forward becomes clearer. You stop chasing outcomes and start creating them from the inside out. That's where real change begins, not in the noise of more advice, but in the silence of honest self-reflection and aligned action. There's always a turning point, a moment where something clicks. It's not loud or dramatic. It doesn't always come with fireworks or fanfare. Sometimes it's quiet, a sentence, a realization. a truth you've heard before, but suddenly feel for the first time. Maybe it's the moment you realize the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you've been telling yourself. Maybe it's the moment you see that your fear of failure has been disguised as being realistic, or that your need to be perfect has kept you from starting anything at all. That moment can come when you're staring at a blank page, debating whether to take the risk. It can happen when you're exhausted, fed up, and telling yourself you're done trying. But instead of walking away this time, you stop, you breathe, and something inside whispers, what if this is the moment that changes everything? Not because circumstances suddenly change, but because you change. You decide that your excuses are no longer welcome. You choose to stop waiting for permission. You accept that growth means discomfort, but discomfort is better than regret. In that moment, something internal shifts. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I don't try? You begin to realize that every successful person you admire has felt what you feel. They've faced the same fears, heard the same inner critic, stumbled through the same doubts. The difference is they didn't let it stop them. And now, neither will you. This is the moment where clarity begins to replace confusion. It's the point where you stop looking for external validation and start trusting your own voice. You realize that progress isn't about being fearless. It's about being courageous in the face of fear. It's about choosing action when comfort begs you to stay still. From here, everything changes. Not overnight, but with each small intentional step forward. The journey ahead won't be perfect. There will still be resistance, still be hard days, still be doubts. But now you carry a new awareness, one that empowers you to respond differently, to lead with purpose, to show up for yourself. This is the spark that ignites the fire, the beginning of momentum. And while the path may not get easier, you get stronger, because once you've seen what's possible, once you've felt that shift, you can never go back to who you were before. Reaching your full potential isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous process of growth, reflection, and action. The journey to success isn't reserved for the few who seem born with clarity or confidence. It's available to anyone willing to do the inner work. And that work doesn't start with strategy. It starts with awareness. It begins when you stop chasing surface level solutions and start asking deeper questions. Who am I becoming? What do I truly want? What beliefs are shaping my reality? Throughout this process, the most powerful breakthroughs often come not from learning something new, but from remembering something true. You begin to see that you've always had strength, always had the capacity to grow, always had the power to choose. You realize that the answers you've been looking for aren't outside of you. They've been buried beneath doubt, fear, and the noise of expectation. But once uncovered, they change everything. Success, real success, is not just about reaching goals. It's about alignment between your values, your emotions, your mindset, and your actions. When you align those areas, you stop forcing progress and start flowing with purpose. You make decisions with more clarity. You handle setbacks with more grace. You move through life with a sense of direction that isn't shaken by every obstacle or opinion. You also learn that challenges are not signs to quit, but invitations to grow. That fear doesn't mean stop, it means pay attention. That every moment of resistance is an opportunity to rise. And most importantly, you learn that transformation is not a future destination, it's something you live, step by step, in the present. This is the foundation on which lasting success is built, not temporary motivation, but deep internal change, not blind action, but intentional momentum. You now understand that the most important work happens within, and once that work is embraced, everything on the outside begins to shift. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to begin with honesty, with courage, and with the willingness to grow, because the truth is, the version of you that's capable of creating the life you dream of isn't somewhere far away. It's already inside you, waiting for permission to lead. And once you let that part of you take the wheel, there's no limit to how far you can go. Now is the time to stop standing on the edge of your potential. You've spent enough time waiting for clarity, for motivation, for the right moment. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. There is only now. And now is more than enough to begin. If something in this message stirred something inside you, an idea, a truth, a reminder, then don't let it fade. Act on it. Anchor it. Let it guide your next step. Start by asking yourself the hard questions, the ones you've been avoiding. What do I really want? What's been holding me back? What am I no longer willing to tolerate in my life? These aren't just reflective exercises. These are doorways to transformation. Write them down. Say them out loud. Share them with someone you trust. Let your answers become the fuel for your next move. And then take one action, however small, that aligns with the life you say you want. Could be making a call, setting a boundary, starting a journal, or simply deciding to no longer speak to yourself in ways that limit you. Every shift, no matter how minor, begins a ripple effect. Momentum doesn't require a massive leap. It only asks for motion. If you're ready to dig deeper, engage with others on the same path, share your thoughts in the comments, ask your own questions. Let this be a conversation, not just a moment. You are not alone in your pursuit of growth. There are others just like you who are waking up to their own power, and your voice might be the very thing they need to hear. Subscribe if this message resonated with you. Save the space as a reminder that growth is possible. Clarity is within reach, and your next level is waiting. The journey doesn't begin when life gets easier. It begins when you decide you're no longer waiting to be ready. You are ready now, and the only thing left to do is start.